Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Vagina Healing Podcast. My name is Takira, and I'm a vaginal health dietitian who has healed herself twice from 4 years worth of chronic vaginal infections. I've healed from yeast, BV, mycoplasma, and ureaplasma, and now I'm using my knowledge to help women free themselves from chronic vaginal infections as well. All my links are down below to work with me, but today's episode is going to be all about the vulvar microbiome in comparison with the vaginal microbiome, how to get rid of stubborn vulvar odor, especially when you're sweating or you're wearing certain clothes. We're going to be talking about why this happens. I actually have, wait, I have a summary of what I'm talking about because I have it on my Patreon. Let me read to you guys a summary before I continue talking. I didn't have that pulled up. Okay, so for this episode, we're going to be talking about the difference between vaginal odor and vulvar body odor, body films and how they form to create persistent vulvar odor, how clothing can contribute to odor issues, common hygiene mistakes that women make, stress and body odor, and what to do if washing is not the problem for you. So, background story. So it's been over a year since I have been healed from chronic vaginal infections. I healed myself last year. I keep getting it mixed up. I think in May of last year I got my Evi test. I realized I had BV, and then I healed myself in 7 days once I got my supplements. So it's been about a year since I've officially healed from BV. But last year I had last year I only had sex with two people. I had two partners, like at separate times, not at the same time. I never liked having sex with more than one person at the same time. I just never, ever, ever liked that. But the second person I ended up having sex with, I noticed that after that situation, when it involved oral sex, ever since then, whenever I sweat down there, I've had an odor. And that's never like that used to happen to me like years ago, but that was more so related to BV. But like I never would sweat down there and have a vulvar odor. Like I wouldn't get like BO down there or a musky scent unless it was an infection. So I was like, okay, that's strange because I don't have BV anymore, but then the vulvar area still smells when I sweat or if I wear certain things. But I couldn't figure out what was the issue for that. And I was actually scared that I had BV again, but I didn't. It was just, I realized months later it's the vulvar microbiome. And ever since, like in cold weather, I'll be fine. But then when it's hot and it's warm and I sweat, it's a really strong BO odor down there. And I'm like, yo, this cannot keep happening because I am not about to be walking around in the summertime wearing skirts, trying to go to the beach, or, even if I want to have sex again, I don't want to deal with that vulvar odor that smells like BO if I'm sweating. So I've been trying to figure this out for months. And I made a TikTok about this maybe about a month ago at this point, and I realized what can help with it. Because for me, when I was younger, going through middle school and puberty, I dealt with really bad BO odor under my arms. And my mom is from Grenada, which is an island in the Caribbean, and so they're used to using natural remedies and stuff. And so growing up, she grew up poor and she used lime juice as an underarm deodorant. And I follow this guy on threads named Dr. Armpit. He's a PhD scientist. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Scientist who specifically studies body odor and he studies like the underarm microbiome. And so he always preaches about how lime juice and lemon juice can be a natural deodorant. And I used to use lime juice for years as a deodorant and it worked perfectly fine. And he always preaches about lime juice for underarm deodorant. And because the vulvar odor, like the vulva area, like the glands and stuff, are very similar to the underarm glands. They have the same African sweat glands. In my mind, I'm like, okay, if I use lime juice down there, diluted, keyword diluted, then that would also help to get rid of the odor. So whenever I would have an odor, I would dilute some lime juice, like fresh limes. I would squeeze it onto a cotton swab. I would dilute the rest of it with water, and I would wipe that area, blow dry it, and then moisturize it with coconut oil. And so this does work for cutting that odor, yes. But what's important to know is that if you have lime juice on your skin, you cannot be exposed to the sun because it can cause really, 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 really severe burns where it's like bubbling and boils and blisters on your skin. So keep that in mind. But I know for a fact that lime juice does help with cutting the vulvar odor down there because lime juice helps to bring your skin pH down to an acidic level where it should be, where odor causing bacteria cannot exist. But I was not consistent with the lime juice down there because it was cold in it's cold in Jersey. Well, it was cold in Jersey. So for me, I wasn't dealing with the odor. But then once it started getting warm, I'm like, oh, hell no. I need to figure out a routine for myself, not even just to get rid of the odor, but to stop it completely from the root so that this does not happen to me again. So, what happened is that it's not that the guy I did sexual things with, it's not that he gave me something. It's the fact that he probably had a bacteria in his mouth. And guys, we all have bacteria everywhere in our body. We have good bacteria, we have bad bacteria, we all have our natural microbiome all over our bodies. And so sometimes when your body is not used to a specific strain of a bacteria and your body's introduced to it, it can cause a reaction. So what I'm thinking is that when he was performing oral sex, that he introduced a bacteria to my vagina that my body was not accustomed to or used to, and then it stayed, formed a biofilm, and caused a persistent vulvar odor. But did he give me an STD or an STI? No. It is possible people to for you to exchange microbes with people without it being an STI, STD. So really keep that in mind, guys. So now with that, so I was trying to figure out. So I knew the lime juice was working. I would also do diluted ACV. So I would put diluted 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and like at least 8 ounces of water. And I would always use that to rinse off post shower, and that always helped with getting rid of immediate odor. So that always helps with getting rid of immediate odor, and also wiping diluted lime juice on the vulvar area, but really diluted so that it doesn't burn your skin, and also don't expose your skin to the sun after that. So I knew those two things worked, but every time I would go outside and it's hot and I sweat, or I would go, if I would like work out or go for a walk, the smell was still so strong. And I am a kind of person where I'm not trying to just mask the symptoms. I want to get to the root cause and fix it. I don't want to be like dealing with like managing it. I want it to be healed. So I'm continuously like looking things up. I'm also using AI at the same time. So I use a combination of things. I use resources from people that talk about the vaginal microbiome. I look up things online. I also use AI. I kind of use my intuition to guide me as to what I know will work for me. But I know my diet is great. I get good hydration. I eat yogurt every single day. I eat lots of healthy fats, lots of fruits, lots of veggies. I have a diet that's very low in refined carbs. So I get my carbs from mainly fruits, veggies, grains, legumes, and nuts slash seeds, which are the 5 fiber food groups. I don't really eat bread like that anymore. I like pasta, especially like a creamy Alfredo pasta, but I have not had pasta in months. I don't eat pasta like that. I love bread, but I stopped eating it because it makes me look too bloated. And then I like rice, but cooking rice is too much work for me. So it's easier for me to just focus on fruits and veggies as my carbohydrate source. And rice can make me really bloated as well. Potatoes, I love potatoes also, but I just prefer to eat more of like other like leafy greens, cruciferous veggies. So for me, I know that my diet is good. If anything, I could do better with managing my stress for sure, because stress can impact your body odor, and we will talk about that later in the episode. But overall, I'm like, okay, I need to figure out this once and for all. So I've been looking up things, and then I realized that the external skin area has its own microbiome, and the vaginal canal has its own microbiome. So the vaginal canal is dominated by lactobacillus, or it's supposed to be, or else then you're at high risk for getting recurring vaginal infections or STDs and STIs. The skin microbiome is dominated by different bacteria, and if you have an odor-causing bacteria on the skin surface, on the vulva area, and it forms a biofilm, it can cause a very persistent musky BO odor whenever you're exposed to certain fabric material, whenever you are wet down there, like moist from sweating or anything. So I'm going to explain the science behind all of this. And I'm also going to teach you guys how to clean your vulva area based off of a post made by a biomedical engineer named Gianna, who is the owner of Meraki Co. It's a vaginal probiotic and a vaginal health products company. So first, I'm going to go over the anatomy-based education. So number one, okay. So, yeah, number one, your vagina is a self-cleaning machine. So we know that already. But your vulva is skin, and it sweats, it interacts with clothing, and it can develop standard body odor just like your underarm. So keep that in mind. Now, to solve the issue of vulvar body odor, you have to understand where it is happening. So the female anatomy is divided into two distinct microbiomes that require completely different care. So we have, like I told you guys, the vaginal canal, which is the internal, and we have the vulva and the groin, which is the external skin. So the vaginal microbiome, which is what I mainly talk about, is a warm anaerobic internal canal, meaning it's a warm, oxygen-free internal canal. So it's dominated mostly by lactobacillus, which is the bacteria that keeps it between 3.8 to 4.5, and also produces lactic acid to maintain that highly acidic environment. That high acidity, like I told you guys, is a protective barrier that keeps harmful pathogens from multiplying. So the main important thing to know is that it's self-cleaning. You never need to insert anything to wash it. The only thing I recommend to my clients to insert in there when they're in the middle of a protocol is either an intravaginal probiotic suppository or boric acid, but I never tell clients to put anything up there at all. I do not recommend that at all. And the two things I recommended is a part of the protocol, because boric acid is a biofilm buster and the intravaginal probiotic is for the microbiome restoration phase. So keep that in mind. The vaginal canal can also be maintained through your diet, your hydration. So, really drinking a lot of fluids, fluids with electrolytes, warm herbal teas, fresh coconut water, 8 ounces, fresh juices, 8 ounces, stuff like that. Now, the vulva and the groin, the external skin, this microbiome is made from external skin folds, the mons pubis, the labia majora, the labia minora, and the surrounding groin and inner thigh. So I'm gonna put a TikTok down below by Gianna who explained the vulvar anatomy and also how to clean it properly, so you guys can see a visual. But this microbiome on the skin, not the internal vaginal canal, but the skin, is a diverse oxygen exposed skin microbiome. So it consists of standard skin bacteria like Staphylococcus, Corynebacterium, and other various anaerobes rather than lactobacillus. So lactobacillus does not necessarily help all too much, or at least we don't know that for now, with the skin microbiome. It helps with the inner vaginal canal. So the skin pH is much less acidic than the inside. It typically sits around a normal skin pH of 4.7 to 5.5. What's important is that this area is densely packed with apocrine sweat glands, the same ones that are found in your armpits. So these glands secrete a thick, milky sweat rich in proteins and lipids. Lipids are fats. When you are active, when you are stressed, and you are hot. And lately, I have been all three. I have been active, I have been stressed as fuck, and I've been hot. So, what's the difference between a vaginal infection and also external vulvar BO? So, with a vaginal infection, whether it's BV, yeast, trick, or whatever, the location of it is inside the vaginal canal. So, a shift in your internal pH that kills lactobacillus that then allow the overgrowth of microbes like Gardnerella or yeast. That's what causes the vaginal infections, or you can technically call it vaginal imbalances. So the scent profile is different. It's often fishy, like BV, musty or yeasty, like yeast, or it can be foul or sour. And it's always usually accompanied by abnormal discharge, whether it's clumpy, gray, green, internal itching, or burning. So if you have an odor that's accompanied with these symptoms, the odor, the discharge, then it's worth you getting tested. You can get tested by your GYN, but I personally have all my clients test with Evie, which is an at-home vaginal microbiome testing company that tests for over 700 microbes like your GYN does not test for. GYN is only checking you for maybe 4 to 5 things. Evie is checking for 700. So it's a great test to get to the root cause of your vaginal infections. This is not sponsored, but I do have a link in my bio to get $20 off for your first Evie order. All of my clients use Evie. I've used Evie, and it's a really great resource. So that's a great test to get done. But that's what a vaginal infection or imbalance is. When it comes to external vulvar BO, which is like body odor, this originates outside on the skin fold, creases, and the groin. So for a vaginal infection, it's on the inside of the canal. For the external vulvar body odor, it's on the outside on the skin folds, creases, and the groin. So the cause is that the skin bacteria that you naturally have on your skin is consuming the sweat from your apocrine glands and the sebum on the surface. When the skin bacteria interacts with the sweat and sebum on the surface, it then releases a really strong odor depending on what kind of skin bacteria you have. This can create a very stale, sharp, musky, or sweaty BO odor similar to underarm odor. So, The symptoms are that there will be no changes to your internal discharge, so your discharge will be normal. Your skin itself will just be sweaty or slightly irritated from the friction. You'll have no vaginal infection symptoms, just you'll be dealing with the odor coming from the vulvar area. So that is the main difference. And so now I'm going to teach you guys about the science of the BO and also biofilms and also what these odor causing bacteria are feeding on. So sometimes standard washing can fail to clear external skin odor. So like I told you guys just now, external BO is a chemical reaction. So when you have any body odor, it's a chemical reaction between the bacteria on your skin and the sweat and also the the sweat and the sebum on your skin surface. So the bacteria on your skin are lipophilic. Lipophilic means that it loves fat. So it loves fats. It feeds on fats in order to keep multiplying. The odor causing bacteria usually they don't eat water. They feed on lipids, waxes, and fats found in your African sweat and natural skin oils, your sebum. So, when the bacteria break down these fats, they release these really volatile fatty acid byproducts, and that chemical byproduct is the actual smell. So, when the bacteria breaks down the fats on your skin, it then releases that really bad smell. Now, it's also important to keep in mind is that these odor-causing bacteria can form biofilms. So when certain bacteria, especially unique strains introduced to the skin surface, settle into the groin folds, they don't just sit there loosely. They usually form a biofilm. So I have a TikTok which I can also link down below that explains what a biofilm is. It's basically a sticky microscopic protective shield, which is a matrix of sugars and proteins that bacteria glue to your skin and inside your hair follicle. So it basically acts like a shield to prevent any type of bacteria from getting killed off. So it makes it really stubborn to get rid of these things. So when you do a quick 10-second wash with your hands and gentle soap, that typically cannot break the biofilm matrix. The bacteria can actually remain safely protected underneath it, multiplying and producing the odor the second you step out of the shower. So if you shower and you come any okay, so backtrack. If you know you don't have a vaginal infection and you shower and you immediately come out the shower and there's a strong vulvar odor, it is most likely that the bacteria has formed a biofilm and is multiplying and reducing odor the second you step out of the shower. And so this has to do with like the humidity, the wetness, and that releases the odor. So keep that in mind. So what's important is that after you shower, you want to dry off as quickly as possible with a paper towel or a clean towel or a blow dryer. I use a clean towel and I use a blow dryer immediately after I'm out of the shower to prevent that interaction with the humidity, the moisture, the water, and the air from then releasing the volatile BO odor. So something else I also recently learned. So usually with clients, I always recommend that they moisturize their vaginal area with coconut oil because coconut oil is very antifungal. It's a great moisturizer, it's really great for your skin. But now that I'm realizing that the odor causing bacteria feed on fats and coconut oil is a fat, then this natural moisturizer might be fueling the fire. Should a woman still use coconut oil as a moisturizer? Yes. But use oils like coconut oil as a moisturizer down there if you are not dealing with the vulvar odor. If you're dealing with the vulvar odor, you need to use a different moisturizer, and I'm going to explain to you what that is. So keep that in mind. So in the past, I did recommend coconut oil down there. So I apologize if it comes up as confusing or that it has made anything worse for anybody. But I'm just learning as I go, and I teach you guys as I go. So when women feel dry or think they have an odor issue, they'll oftentimes reach for natural antimicrobial herbs like coconut oil. But because these are dense with fatty acids like lipids, applying them to the creases is essentially you basically feeding the odor causing bacteria that are lipophilic because they love fats. So this can be actively feeding the biofilm and giving them the feel that they need to create more volatile fatty acid odors. So keep that in mind. I'm going to give you guys all the tips at the end of the episode. But now, how to properly clean the vulva. So I got these notes, like I told you guys, from Gianna. I'm going to link her video down below so you guys can also watch her video, but I'm giving her credit where it's due. But basically, the groin and the inner thighs are not your vulva. So keep that in mind. But the outer groin behaves exactly like underarm skin. So it deals with thick thighs, friction, trapped moisture, and intense stress sweating. The outer area benefits from like a targeted gentle body wash, like maybe one that has like mandelic acid to help break down sweat build, or something like Lume, which is a soap that I use for that area to like clean the groin, the crease, and everything. But even though the vulva area itself has its own microbiome, the groin and the inner thighs are not your vulva. They're two separate parts. So keep that in mind. But they kind of act similarly in how they produce body odor and stuff like that. So when you're dealing with people that have like just even, and you don't have to have thick thighs, but if you do have thick thighs, or like you have like a fat ass, or friction, trapped moisture, and intense stress sweating, you can more likely have more increased body odor down there. So moving inward, so to the vulva itself. So with the groin and the inner thighs, a gentle soap that has mandelic acid, or a Lume acidified body wash, because Lume is a body wash that brings your skin pH down to where it's supposed to be in order to prevent odor causing bacteria. That's how Lume works. So that's why I like Lume. I don't recommend things like Vagisil, or any, if that's even what it's called, any other vaginal soaps I don't recommend, because they wipe away your good and your bad bacteria, which can actually lead you to having an increased risk for vaginal infections and vaginal vulvar odor. Lume is acidifying the skin to prevent the odor, and it's not wiping away your microbiome as much as a regular vaginal over-the-counter wash would. So I never recommend vaginal washes. I usually recommend either ACV diluted, lime diluted, Lume, and also I'm going to explain. Gianna has a new product, which is a barrier skin bar. And I'm not sponsored by her, by the way. I just really like her work, and I learn a lot from her. So that's why I mention her a lot. But I'm going to talk about her soap soon. So now when you're talking about the vulva itself, number one is that you don't want to aggressively scrub. So one thing that I was doing is I was using an exfoliating cloth for my body, and I would also use that for my vagina as well. But when you are aggressively scrubbing, it's scrubbing your delicate tissue. So the tissue on your vulva area is very, very, very delicate. And when you're using an exfoliating scrub, like a cloth, or something that's really, really, really harsh, this can actually create really bad micro tears, and it can actually cause your skin to overproduce more sebum, which we know that the odor causing bacteria feeds on the sebum and causes more of that body odor. So I was adding fuel to the fire by one, using coconut oil, and then two, using an exfoliating cloth, because it was most likely creating the micro tears that was then causing the odor causing bacteria to continue forming because of the sebum that it was producing from the over exfoliation. So stop letting the internet convince you that you have to scrub your delicate tissue raw. You should not be using any harsh soaps, no loofahs, no scrubs, or exfoliating gloves down there. In the past, I was also using exfoliating gloves only because I was using it for my whole body anyways. So what you need to use is either you use your hands, or you use a 100% cotton washcloth gently. I'm going to explain that more towards the end about the washcloth. But basically, for the labia majora, which is the outer folds, you want to cleanse gently with your hands in soft circular motions using a gentle, mindful cleanser like Lume. And I also recommend the unscented Lume, not the scented Lume, the unscented Lume. And Lume is Lume, or Gianna's barrier bar. So I'm going to actually put up her barrier bar to show you guys what it is and what it's about. And I actually ordered it, so I'm really excited to use it. And I asked her on her TikTok, will this help with rebalancing the skin microbiome to reduce odor? And she actually said yes. So that's good. But basically, it's a soap-free vulvar cleansing bar that's formulated around the female physiology, and it uses ultra mild surfactants, ceramides, and also microbiome supportive ferments. So it's fragrance-free. It's pH optimized. It helps to build your barrier. It's non-stripping, and it supports the vulvar microbiome. So it's a vulvar cleansing bar. So she also mentions the ingredients here, and then she had somewhere else. Oh, so she uses certain ingredients that helps to clean the vulva without disrupting the vulvar skin barrier. She also helps with that. The soap also helps with ensuring that there's no residue in the sensitive vulvar folds. It also helps with supporting the barrier during cleansing and reduces post-wash dryness. It has shea butter and olive oil to help with supporting the bar structure and counteracting dryness. So yes, these are fats, but she told me in the comments that this will help with rebalancing the over microbiome. So let's see how it goes. It also has postbiotic ferments like lactobacillus, rice, and oat ferment filtrates that help to align with the skin's microbiome ecosystem, not disrupt it. It also has citric acid, which we know acid helps with bringing down the skin pH, which is why I recommend diluted ACV, diluted lime juice, and also Lume, which is an acidified body wash. So this has citric acid to help adjust the pH to align with healthy vulvar skin, not the vaginal pH. So that's, like I told you guys, that's the main difference there. So I'm excited to try this bar to see how it works. Even though it has fats in it, I trust her a lot because she's a biomedical engineer. So let's see how that goes. Um, let's see, where am I up to in my notes? Okay, so those are two examples of bars you can use to use your fingers in a circular motion to clean the labia majora. With the labia minora, you can gently separate the folds with your fingers and use the slick lather of your cleanser to slide through the creases. So your hands provide all the physical texture that you need. So previously, I would tell people to wash the majora and don't wash where the hair doesn't grow, which is usually the minora. But now I know that you can wash the minora. I just didn't want people to risk getting too much soap in that area, which can then lead to getting soap kind of somewhat in the vaginal canal. But as long as you're continuously rinsing, then it shouldn't be a problem. You also want to clean the clitoral hood because you can actually produce smegma, which is buildup that can accumulate beneath the clitoral hood over time. So if your anatomy comfortably allows it, gently retract the hood slightly and use clean fingers and lather to rinse away the buildup. And it should not feel painful, by the way. You also want to clean your perineum, which is your back pussy, which is the area between your vagina and your ass, and your anus. You want to clean this with your hands and lather, never aggressively scrub the delicate back region. And then you want to rinse with warm water. A gentle cleanser may briefly touch the external opening of the vaginal canal during rinsing, which is perfectly fine and safe. Just make sure that nothing goes inside. So I would tell clients before, as much as possible, try not to get the cleanser in that whole area just because I want them to be safe. But she mentioned that the cleanser can actually briefly touch that area during rinsing and it's safe as long as nothing goes inside. So now we have that knowledge. And I know for some people they're gonna say, but my hands don't work. It's still smelly, it's still odorous. You have to be persistent with it and keep doing it because eventually it will work. But you can also use a washcloth, which I'm going to explain to you guys how to do that actually right now. So for me, I'm currently doing my own protocol to rebalance my external skin microbiome. And so what I'm doing now, and you guys can follow this if it applies to you, but always follow up with a professional that is more into holistic healthcare that can help you with this, or work with me in the microbiome makeover, which is my monthly Patreon membership in which I post daily vaginal health education. We have a weekly live Q&A, and you get support from me one-to-one where I can help you to create your own protocol, help you create recipes, help you to answer your question on a daily basis. So you can get help from me in that, which is $50 a month on Patreon with a 7-day free trial. Or you can join the Vag Reset program, which is my 3-month one-to-one program where you get daily voice note support. You get your own protocol. You also get to be, you basically get your own protocol, your own support from me 24/7 through voice note coaching. And I basically help you heal from chronic vaginal infections for good on a more intimate one-to-one level. So what I have been doing to break the existing biofilms and to starve the bad bacteria that's causing the odor and restore my skin microbiome is number one. I am pre-treating my area with diluted apple cider vinegar or diluted lime juice. So basically what I do is I put a tiny bit of ACV or lime juice on a cotton pad and I dilute it with water, heavily diluted with water. And then I wipe the area, the whole, the groins, the creases, the skin, the labia majora, labia minora, the anal area, the perineum. I wipe it all with this cotton pad that has diluted ACV and lime juice. So I wipe it, and it should not be burning either. So keep that in mind. It should be really diluted. I wipe it and I let it air dry. But again, guys, be mindful that lime juice should be used at nighttime. It should be very diluted and only when you're wearing full coverage clothing to prevent tropical sun reaction, which is called photodermatitis. So I soak that cotton pad in that mixture. I apply it, I let it dry for at least 30 seconds to an hour because that natural acidity acts as a non-physical chemical exfoliant to weaken the sticky bacterial biofilm matrix that's causing the bacteria to produce a strong odor and keeping it there. So in the morning, I do this, and at nighttime, I do this, right? So that's number one. Two, once that dries completely, I then use the Lume acidified soap as like a mask. So on the instructions for the Lume soap, I usually use it to like wash, lather, and rinse. But now I'm actually applying a very small amount of the acidified, unscented Lume soap directly on the skin. I'm using it as like a mask. So once the ACV dries or the lime juice dries, I put the soap on, make sure on dry skin, not on wet skin, on dry skin. Because if it's wet, it can kind of go down into the hole. It may burn. So on dry skin, I put the soap on. I leave it on as a mask for 2 to 3 minutes. I put it in the perineum area, the anal area, the vulva minora, sorry, the vulva minora, the labia majora, labia minora, the groins, the crease, not in the hole, not in the hole, but on the outside area, and I leave it there for 2 to 3 minutes before going in the shower. This actually gives, what I'm noticing, it can give the cleansing agents actual contact time to lock onto the loosened oils and bacteria. So we use the ACV or the lime juice diluted to kind of break up that biofilm and to kind of bring those things to the surface. And then now we're using the Lume acidified wash, or you can use a barrier bar as well to then help with like removing that, and to help really cleanse it out. So once you leave it on for 2 to 3 minutes, I then use a gentle cotton washcloth rinse, or you can use your fingers. Then you go into the shower, you wet the washcloth, and you gently wipe the mask away. So make sure it's cotton, it's not exfoliating, not a loofah, not a scrub, nothing. A gentle 100% pure cotton washcloth. You wet it and then you wipe it off of your skin. And then you basically will then also rinse your vagina with water. So the natural soft woven texture of the cotton cloth lifts the loosened biofilm off of the skin without creating the micro tears that an exfoliating cloth or loofah or scrub would do. Then you shower as normal. After your shower, you want to pat dry with a clean towel, paper towel, and then use a hair dryer on the cool setting for at least 20 seconds to get rid of any moisture, because bacteria thrive in residual humidity. That's why after the shower, you may notice a really, really strong odor. So when you eliminate dampness, it can stop the reproduction, which would then cause that odor to be so much strong in the air. So when you're trying to do this to heal your vulva from having really bad odor, don't use oils. If your skin feels tight or dry from the acids, then you want to apply a thin layer of pure unscented aloe vera gel that is oil free and extract free. So the one that I'm using is the what the fuck? Lily of the Desert aloe vera jelly, because it has high it's hydrating. It uses water binding properties, and it has no fats in it for bacteria to eat. It has no scents. It has no chemicals that would interact and cause more odor. So it's the Lily of the Desert aloe vera jelly. I got it yesterday. The ingredients are very, very safe. I'm actually going to, let me find. Okay, so the reason why the ingredient list for this specific product is great is because it has zero lipids, it's completely fragrance and essential oil free. So essential oils like lavender oil, tea tree, things like that, while they do kill bad bacteria, they can also kill good bacteria as well. So keep that in mind. And there's no fragrances in this gel. So sometimes in aloe vera gel, it'll say linalool, like Linalool, which is a fragrance. You don't want to use fragrances down there. This gel also has antioxidant support through vitamin E and vitamin C. And so it's a really great gel that is really safe to use on there as a moisturizer for like the groin, the crease, the labia majora and minora, the perineum, the anal area, the whole area on the outside, just not the inside. So if you're dealing with the odor, moisturize with this and not with oil. So I'm doing this routine for 30 days with the intention of rebalancing my skin microbiome. And as I'm doing this routine, the mindset piece behind it is I'm affirming I am odorless. So as I'm doing this, I'm affirming to myself, I am odorless, I am odorless, I am odorless, I am healthy with a healthy vagina, I am odorless. So that's the mindset piece combined with the physical action. And try this if it applies to you, resonates with you for 30 days, and continue doing it until you notice your skin microbiome is back to normal. Even if you still experience odor in the beginning, just keep doing it because your body has to rebalance itself. So you have to just keep going with something and try it for at least 30 days to see something. So a lot of people try things and they give up if they notice that the odor is still there, they're still having symptoms. The main theme in all of my TikToks, my podcast episodes, is that you need to persist in something and not just automatically give up. You have to really be consistent in trying something for a long time before giving up. So that's what I'm doing right now. Yesterday was my first day doing it, and I had very, very, very little vulvar odor the whole day, even though I was outside and sweating. Something else is that when I go outside and I sweat and I come back inside, I wipe off the sweat with a paper towel, and then I blow dry the area, and then I also would apply some aloe vera gel if it's too dry. But I don't rewash it or re-rinse or anything because you don't want to overstrip the microbiome either. So that's what I'm doing. Yesterday it worked really well. Today's my second day, still working really well. So I will update you guys in 30 days once that passes. Something else not to keep in mind is that your clothes also play a really big role. So something else that I was also doing is that I was always commando, which is actually great. But when you're commando in the wrong fabrics, it can actually re-inoculate the odor causing bacteria and cause it to persist and make things worse and make that odor persist down there. So a lot of my workout clothes are synthetic fabrics like polyester and elastane. And so your skin routine won't work if your clothes keep reinfecting you. So, polyester and synthetic activewear are made of plastic fibers, and plastic loves oil. When you sweat into polyester workout gear, the fabric traps your skin's lipids and the bacteria's biofilm um, deep inside its fibers. Sorry, I'm reading my notes. So when you sweat into polyester workout gear, the fabric traps your skin lipids and the bacteria's biofilm is deep inside its fibers. So standard laundry detergents cannot dissolve these plastic lipid bonds. Oh my gosh. When you wash them normally, they look and smell clean, but the moment you wear them again and your body heats up, the fabric during your next workout, the trapped biofilm in the cloth can reactivate and transfer it straight back onto your clean skin. So when you're wearing polyester and synthetic activewear, you should be wearing 100% pure cotton underwear, and you should not be commando in this fabric because otherwise you can be kind of reinfecting yourself with the odor causing bacteria that's causing the BO musky smell. So you can either choose to find 100% cotton or natural fabric workout clothes, or if you do have polyester, wear 100% pure cotton organic underwear and change out of the polyester clothing immediately, and also washing the polyester clothing in white vinegar in the fabric softener container of the washing machine and using like Dr. Bronner's soap as like the regular soap in the soap part of the machine. So when you wear cotton underwear that's 100% pure cotton, it creates a breathable barrier under the polyester workout clothes. So cotton absorbs moisture and does not trap the oils. So when you do want to go commando, you have to go commando safely and go commando under skirts and dresses, but ensure that the skirt fabric is made out of entirely natural breathable fibers like cotton, linen, and rayon, rather than synthetic polyester to prevent sweat from trapping against the skin. So to go commando, you should be wearing natural fibers and not synthetic fibers. And if you are wearing synthetic fibers, you want to wear 100% pure cotton underwear to keep that barrier between the polyester synthetic fabric and also your vagina. So, how to strip the biofilm out of the clothing. So, if you can't use a washing machine that has a fabric softener compartment to automatically separate your detergents, you would want to soak your synthetic workout clothes first in a bucket or a tub or whatever with warm water and 1 cup of white vinegar and a generous splash of lime juice for 30 minutes because that citric and acetic acid can help to break down the stubborn lipid bonds and dissolve the biofilm trapped in the synthetic fibers. Then you want to wash, so you want to drain the sink or the tub or whatever, rinse the clothes, and then refill with a gentle soap like Dr. Bronner's, which is what I use, to wash away the loosened dirt and the loosened oils before a final rinse. But you don't want to mix vinegar and the soap in the same water because the acid will curdle and the soap can form into an oily mess, and it can also kind of cancel each other out. But if you have a washing machine where it has two separate compartments, in the soap part you put Dr. Bronner's, in the fabric softener part you put the white vinegar, so that it's two separate things in order for you to wash it. So something else that's also important to keep in mind is that stress and anxiety trigger your nervous system to produce more apricot sweat, which can create more odor. So when you're checking and stressing over odor, it can also create a physical feedback loop. So if you are stressed, it's important to practice nervous system regulation in order to prevent the overproduction of sweat that can cause more odor. So meditations, breath work, EFT tapping, walking, grounding yourself. On my YouTube channel, I do have vaginal healing meditations to help regulate your nervous system around your vaginal health. That's really important. So I would do that on a regular basis. They're 5 to 6 minutes long. And stop checking for the odor constantly, because you're constantly giving yourself the same physical feedback loop that's then feeding the belief in your mind that you have vaginal odor. So stop over checking and stop stressing over it as much as possible, and just affirm to yourself, I am odorless, I am odorless, I am odorless. No matter what you're seeing, no matter what you're smelling, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're experiencing, it does not matter if you are smelling the odor. If you're doing a physical routine to heal it, your mindset needs to be in alignment with that. So do the routine and then affirm to yourself, I am odorless, I am odorless, I am odorless, I am odorless, and keep doing that until you see results. Keep doing things until you see results. Obviously, if the routine does not work for you, or it's not in alignment with you, or you don't resonate with it, don't force anything onto yourself. Only do things that are in alignment with you and that you feel safe doing, that is safe for you to do specifically. This is all just education and tips. It is not one-to-one medical advice. So the mindset connection is really, really, really important. Regulate your nervous system with meditation. So vaginal healing meditations, do the mindset piece of affirming I am odorless, and then doing the physical work of following a routine to help you get rid of the odor causing bacteria, rebalancing the skin microbiome, getting rid of the biofilms so that you can no longer deal with the strong vulvar odor. So commit to this for 30 days at least. And again, just affirm I am odorless. And you have to trust your biology. You have to respect your skin barrier and let your body reset. So if you feel like you're in fear, you're in worry, say, I trust my body to rebalance itself. Use more I am safe or I trust affirmations. And trust that your body knows what to do, because it doesn't know what to do. Let your body reset itself, and don't start overdoing things. Don't start like panicking and like really, really just stressing yourself out. Trust that your body knows how to rebalance itself naturally, and that is capable of doing so, and that you can achieve a BO free vulvar area down there. And then you can have a normal vaginal microbiome overall with a normal vaginal canal and also a normal vaginal skin pH. So I'm thinking if I should mention anything else before we end this episode. Let me see. I'm scrolling through all of my notes that I had for myself. I wonder if you guys can hear my Michael Jackson music playing in the background. um, let's see. Okay, so actually to conclude, I'm going to tell you guys all the things I was doing wrong that was contributing to my odor the whole time. So number one, I was going commando in polyester workout clothes, which is the biggest culprit, because like I told you guys, polyester locks into that sweat lipids and hold onto bacteria biofilms, even through standard laundry cycles. And every single workout or me wearing those clothes was reintroducing that same exact bacteria stream back into my clean skin. Two, I was creating microscopic tears with the exfoliating cloth on thin, delicate skin that was backfiring, because by creating tiny, invisible micro tears, it triggered the skin to produce more protective oils like sebum, but also creating inflammation, and it gave the bacteria an endless supply of food and damaged barrier to hide under. Three, I was also doing a quick wash with the Lume soap on and off by rinsing it off right away. And my hands, I wasn't using my hands to wash down there. And I wasn't giving the formula enough time to break through the sticky film that the bacteria live in. So, by shifting to cotton underwear, switching to hand soft cotton washcloths, letting the soap sit for a few minutes, I am now completely cutting off those three main contributors to causing the vulvar odor. And it's been 2 days now, and I have not had much of an odor. So again, I will update you guys in 30 days. But for now, that's it for today's episode. I hope that this helped you guys significantly with helping you to learn and know how to free yourself from vulvar BO odor if you do not have a vaginal infection. But if you suspect a vaginal infection, get tested with Evie and don't just let it linger and leave and stay in your vaginal microbiome, because it can contribute to infertility, pelvic inflammatory disease, and it can also just make life not enjoyable when you're dealing with the recurring vaginal infections, obviously. So if you need my help and want to work with me, join the Microbiome Makeover or join the Vag Reset program, which is my one-to-one container. Otherwise, you can follow me on Threads where I post daily information, and on TikTok, everything is linked down below. And I will see you guys all in the next episode. Bye, everyone.